back to another episode of Coin Edition's Web3 interview. My name is Tobit and I'm the host of today. Today we have Brian Kuttikkat. He is the CEO, the Chief Operating Officer of KoinBX, and he has a decade of experience in fintech and crypto space. More than that, he's responsible for overseeing the company's operations, formulating and executing the strategies, and driving expansion initiatives in key markets, including India, UAE, and Singapore. So, how are you, Brian? How's everything?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Toby?
I'm actually great. It's amazing that you're here, and I'm pretty sure all of our audience will learn a lot. So for today, most of the questions that I've drafted for today's episode is mostly focused on the crypto landscape in UAE and India, and on top of that, we'll be also trying to touch as to why few developing countries think that cryptocurrencies are like a lifeline for them. So before we start, like you were recently here in UAE for the Cardano summit, right?
Yes. We were
Yes.
there for Cardano summit,
Yeah.
and it was a great summit out there in UAE. We met Charles Hoskinson, also the CEO of IOHK, that's parent company of Cardano, and we had a couple of deals out there with Cardano too.
That's amazing. Like I think you've been traveling in UAE as well as in India for a long time, especially as the chief operating officer. So before that, like I want to ask, like how, like after traveling in UAE as well as in India, how has the crypto landscape completely changed over the last few years in these two countries?
Yeah, I mean, if you see both these countries, especially India and UAE, there are these two countries are embracing the Web3 technology, because if you see India specifically as a country has been adopting Web2 technology, that is a lot of technological outsourcing works, especially via companies like Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, HCL. These three to four major companies, Wipro, and all these tech companies, tech giants, has been taking a lot of tech outsourcing from the Western countries, and it has been revolutionizing in the Web2 world. Also, if you see in India, there was a Web2 revolution in terms of startups. If you name anything, there's a startup for that work. Like there have been companies like Flipkarts, the Olas. There have been a lot of regional startups in India which has come up, which is like converting the unorganized trade to organized trade. So that is the major thing which had happened in Web2. And Web3 is something which is fast getting adopted in India. There are a lot of new projects which is there in crypto, which is coming up there. So you can see India being already into the Web2 space. It's a pioneer out there in tech outsourcing and all those aspects. So in Web3 also it is fast adopting. On the other side, on the contrary, if you see UAE has been a country which is fairly not that much into data penetration, all those things, but it was a oil and tourism related kind of an economy, which is not, which by far they are also trying to diversify. And Dubai and UAE being one of the states of where their taxes being the least, and it is a favorable climate, it's a favorable place for crypto to grow also, because it is more from a decentralized way of doing things, and UAE being very open to expats, very open being to be decentralized. It is good thing that UAE is fast developing and adopting it. So if you see from both the aspects, India and UAE has been growing very fast in the Web3 world. And I think UAE has been taking a lead also, because there are a lot of government initiatives towards Web3 development. So I think, yeah, both these nations are growing at extremely great pace, greater and faster than the Western countries.
So, like you said, there's a lot of developments happening in both these countries. And according to you, like personally, which development did you love, and what was the reason why you love that development? Like that one particular development you love.
Both the countries, or like just one out of these?
Just one would be fine.
Okay. There have been extreme developments in both these countries. The best development is when you go out in UAE and you go to a very small supermarket or any normal store, and you can actually buy products with crypto tokens. Like the other day, one of the retail stores, that is day to day
Day to day,
retail
yes.
store. Yeah, I mean, it's a normal retail store in UAE. Anybody who has been to UAE at least once would have seen that day-to-day kind of superstore. When you go there, you can actually buy products via top 5 crypto tokens, that is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, USD, Ether, and Cardano. So these 5 tokens can be used to buy products. Now, using this and buying it was a wow moment for me when I actually did it for the first time. I mean, that's the first time when I actually started utilizing it. So it was a cherishing moment for me to go and buy normal products. I mean, you can definitely buy a lot of products from the online, that is from websites and apps. But going to a normal offline retail store and buying products which you need and then paying in crypto is a wow moment, and that's lovely to see.
That's amazing. So like I mentioned, like we'll be like trying to understand why certain cryptocurrencies are called as lifelines for developing countries, because many reports, like several reports including Financial Times, National News, they quoted that cryptocurrencies are a lifeline for many of these developing countries. So according to you, do you think this is true, and why, like what is your reason?
Exactly. I mean, cryptocurrencies are a developing lifeline, especially if you go to go to countries in African continent, like countries like Nigeria, Sudan, Uganda. All these countries, there is the banking penetration is extremely low. Now, when we see in India, we see that okay, the banking penetration is almost 60 to 70 percentage, and everybody has a bank account. I mean, the government of India was also trying to do a lot of push via Jan Dhan Yojana, Jan Dhan bank accounts, and multiple other things which they had actually did. I mean, although we had 60% kind of a banking penetration, these schemes actually help to get the people banked for the unbanked. Same way in UAE and other countries also, banking is a very essential thing wherein finances can be moved. You can have cross-border currencies, cross-border transactions happening. Plus, even for the local transactions also, the banking is required, or you can say digital payments are required, because not everybody can carry cash. So I mean, if you see from India and UAE perspective, it is way in double digits, 60, 70% of the people are banked. But if you go to these African countries, especially Nigeria, Sudan, and all these countries, people are unbanked. I mean, it is very shocking to know that the fact that there are so many people who are unbanked. And that's the reason why you see so many cryptocurrencies, crypto tokens penetrating and heavily doing their campaigns, or you can say doing their penetration into this country. And by far, if you see today, the adoption level of cryptocurrency is the highest in these African countries, because that was the real use case, because people who are unbanked, we're giving them one more banking potential. If you see a country like Nigeria, the crypto adoption is as high as 30%. That is huge. I mean, you'll never see an crypto adoption of 30% in any other country doing so many transactions. Now, this is because there was a need for banking services, for digital transaction to happen. And that's the reason why countries like poor countries, or countries which there was a total need, they're starting to adopt it. And that's the reason why it's a lifeline for them to come up the curve and to grow and develop into like any other economy. And at the same time, it's an opportunity for countries like India and UAE, because UAE, you know that it is oil is going to go down, and data is the new oil. So it is a lifeline for UAE also to come up for the next 2 decades. For India also to transition from Web 2 to Web 3, it is another lifeline. So you can see all the growing economies, if the next level of growth, the highest level of growth can be played out in this industry. And all the upcoming countries, India, UAE, and the African countries, are playing it like a lifeline, and they are actually leveraging this. Yeah.
Okay, so fine. Like now, I want to explore about CoinBX, because I noticed, like especially in UAE and India, like there's a lot of crypto exchanges already in the market. So how is CoinBX trying to compete against them, and what are the unique features that CoinBX has implemented, to stand out?
Yeah, so there are a lot of features what we have been doing with CoinBX. So especially we keep customer at at our heart, actually. In fact, we have a very common synonym which we always say, like if we are having a board meeting of like 4 to 5 people, in that we have 6 chairs out there. Even though we have 5 people out there, we have 1 6 chair. That 6 chair is pretty empty. We think that is the customer, and we always think from a customer point of view. That 6 chair is to think from a customer perspective, that what the customer like it. So we from the business side would definitely love a lot of these things, a lot of the initiatives which we are doing from a commercial angle. But that 6 chair in that board meeting person is for that person to see from that customer perspective, to see that whether a customer would love it, whether a customer would like it. So that's the thing what we do. So we have a customer first approach. That's the first thing. And that's the reason why we have all the features like bank deposits, crypto deposits, withdrawals, all these things apart from any other exchange. I mean, all the other exchanges in India would have either one of the features for on-ramp and off-ramp. But we have everything, banks with us. We have the crypto deposit, we have crypto withdrawals. And at the same time, we are also supporting all the chains. That is all the primary chain, the Bitcoin, the ERC20, the BP, the Solana mainnet, you name it, and we have that chain integrated with us. So that's the another advantage what we are having. So we are not running a very, very centralized exchange. You can say that although we are centralized exchange, but we still run from a perspective of a customer. So that is why we are actually getting in this market in India. And that's the reason why you see that our ranks are constantly going up from 120 onwards to almost 270 to 73 rank, which is currently in CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Now, there is no other exchange in such a rank in India. I mean, India do have a disadvantage of dollar rupee swap. That is, $1 is actually 83 rupees. So that's the reason why the volumes are impacted. And when we actually compete with the Western cryptocurrency exchanges, that's the reason why you do not see us in top 5 or top 3. So that's the reason. But if you see from a truly decentralized world, we have a huge population, a huge unique number of holders, which is why it is attractive. So that is one part why what differentiates CoinBX in India. In UAE also, we are doing a similar approach. We are trying to give people, our customers, the best of the best features, along with regular updates into the app. And at the same time, giving them a choice of currencies with proper due diligence done.
So you mentioned like your crypto exchange is mostly customer approach. So let's say this is exactly to be honest, this is a personal question. Let's say I'm a consumer or a customer, and I have a suggestion. Like I have like, hey, it would be great if you could make these features, include these features in the crypto exchange. So in that case, like, how do I approach you guys? Like, do I do a Telegram message or should I email you? Like, how does it work?
Yes, you can definitely use any of our mediums. So all our mediums are open. Like the Twitter medium is open, the Telegram medium is open. We have a thing of support at coinbx.com where you can send in that email. Also, we are also started with a new project, whereas Project Super Active, by which we are actually calling customers to understand their feedback and to try to understand that which is the thing which you like the most in the app, which is the thing which you think that you need improvement. We need improvement from our side. So a telecalling is also happening, wherein an outbound kind of activity is happening, where every customer is getting a call. We are definitely not spamming customers. We would call a bunch of 10 people, 10 to 15 people on a daily basis to understand which it is there. So we are trying to increase our NPS from there. That is the Net Promoter Score. We wish to have a very high net promoter score, just like an Apple is, like an Apple Inc., where the people in Apple actually fight for the thing. Like you tell an iPhone guy that iPhone is not good, that guy would actually fight for it, stating that no, iPhone is actually good, the MacBook is actually good. So we are targeting that kind of a thing, wherein our customers would actually be our brand ambassadors than any other ads. So we are trying to increase our net promoter score from there. And we are doing this in multiple ways. We're taking inbound suggestions. At the same time, we are very aggressive and calling up people in an outbound manner also to ask about suggestions. So most probably, you would get a call probably in the next, I think, a couple of months itself, because we're calling just 10, 15 random people. So yeah, so because we don't want to spam our customers also.
Yes, that's true. Finally, like, I'm sure that the regulations in UAE and India has completely changed over the years, especially like for the crypto industry to be specific. So, CoinBX in specific, did they face any challenge while adapting to these regulations that had just come up recently?
Yeah, there are a lot of challenges from a regulatory perspective. I mean, since this is a new industry, I mean, there is definitely regulatory challenges, but we as a company, we are quite agile in this manner, in this thing, because we are a company which is having a value of agility, that is to change according to the situation and then adapt to it. So we have been adapting. We have been adaptive to a lot of these regulations from UAE, that's VARA licensing, and even in India, a lot of these regulations from anti-money laundering, and all those things. So we have been adaptive to that. It would always be there. I mean, this would be a question, even you can ask me this question even 5 years later, because crypto is such a word. It is a very, very fast movement kind of a industry wherein things would change overnight. I mean, there would be a new technology coming out. Somebody would do a new innovation out there. So a new regulation needs to come there, because the more the growth of the industry, the more regulatory things would be there in that industry. So we definitely face a lot of challenges, but at the same time, we are proud that we have overcome all these challenges and have come up. At the same time, we are also working hand in hand with the government. We have been doing, like last time I had attended the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, wherein to try to understand what the consumer affairs needs, from the approach of that, of what the customers would need and how to safeguard the consumer protections. So all those things. Even we had a meeting with the Telangana government to understand and to launch a sandbox with them. So there have been a lot of workings hand in hand with the government to try to educate them, second, to try to help them out also. At the same time, they also give us a lot of suggestions from regulatory work, so we also try to adapt it. So it's an industry where we cannot be standing stiff to each other. The industry and the government needs to work together, and that's the reason why we are working together, and we are happy that the governments are pretty supportive in this manner. And it is good to see both the governments, Indian government and the UAE government, helping us succeed. So, but there are definitely challenges which is there. But those are just challenges which we can actually overcome. We have overcome bigger challenges in the past, especially during the Supreme Court ban and all those things. But now I think these are challenges which we can easily overcome, and we have been overcoming this.
That's great. So this question still remains, like there has been an ongoing, there personally I have seen people who still have no information about crypto. Like whenever I do talk with them, they still have no idea about what crypto is, and they're probably based on some misinformation, and they assume that crypto space is not safe. Crypto space is bad in a way because of those misinformation. So thinking like assuming that there are still people out there who wants to know more about crypto, who wants to learn and understand properly what exactly is blockchain and cryptocurrency. How is CoinBX trying to inform the users, especially like in UAE as well as in India?
Yeah, so we do have CoinBX Academy, which we try to educate a lot of people, to make them understand about what a crypto is, what a blockchain is. There are definitely a lot of misconceptions. There are a lot of people who are not still adopted it. So, so in order to do that, we do a learning curve kind of mechanism, wherein it's always there. I mean, whenever a new technology comes, whenever a product comes, there are, in management, we have learned that there are early adopters, then there are people who are known as late adopters, and then there are, like, at the end there are laggards who are there. I mean, that adoption thing would always be there. It's just like how a smartphone is. There are still people who says that smartphones are not required. They still use a feature phone. There, when computers were introduced, there were a lot of people who were striking against it, stating that computers will take away our job. And especially in India also, there are certain political parties, especially I think the leftist wing, they were saying that computers are bad, it's not good. and all those things. So, but if you see today, they are doing digital campaigns now in the market, in the democratic market and all. So all these things are happening. It is quite common to see a lot of people agitating against it, stating that it is not good. But at the same time, you can, at the end, technology will always win, innovation will always win. So you'll definitely see these people adopting it. And to do that thing, we do a couple of measures. One is to do via KoinBX's Academy. We try to constantly help people to understand what crypto is and what blockchain is. Our social medias and our blogs continuously have a lot of information about how to do things, what the new things are, and why these kind of cryptos and why these kind of blockchains are important. So we have been trying to educate our people much, and at the same time we're also trying to educate from a government perspective also, both the governments, and that's how we are trying to take things ahead. I mean, it is innovation and innovation cannot be stopped. That's what I think. I mean, the whole human race is dependent on the fact that things would be innovated and people will develop, and development and innovation can never be stopped.
So finally, I have one last question to ask. It's about, again, CoinBX. What plans or collaboration does CoinBX have in the future? Or could you tell some upcoming developments that CoinBX, provide for the users?
Yes, so CoinBX, I've been, first of all, we have been expanding very heavily. So we have expanded into UAE and Singapore, especially because of our customers' needs, because a lot of migrant Indians are in UAE and Singapore. If you see, especially on the western side of India, people migrate to UAE, and especially from our main office, our head office in Chennai and Madurai, you can see a lot of people, Tamilians, going to Singapore. In fact, Singapore is a place where Tamil is the official language, wherein a lot of announcements would be happening in Tamil also, in metros and in public spaces. So, I mean, we have a lot of user base in UAE and Singapore from that perspective. That's the reason why we expanded into these two countries. At the same time, we are also looking into the African markets, especially Nigeria, because Nigeria is a country which everybody is trying to get the pie of it, because it's a highly unbanked place. I mean, we might have heard about a lot of scams happening out there, but it is not the scams happening. It's mostly because they are not banked. They don't have any transactions happening there. That's the real need out there. But if you give them certain good things, certain good financial instruments to help them now, you can definitely see use cases being adopted there, and that market being growing. So we are growing, especially we are expanding to the African markets also, not only specific to one country but to multiple countries, because now we are a global exchange. We are expanding to multiple countries out there, even to Europe and even to Poland. We already are expanding into the Poland region. We are in the midst of getting a Polish license. I mean, most probably in this month we'll be getting that. So that kind of expansion happening. From the customer product perspective, we are expanding from spot to even derivatives now. Now people in CoinBX would be able to trade into derivative segments, which we are launching probably in the next month, which would come into the CoinBX app. So derivatives would also come, that is futures and options, into the CoinBX app, which means now spot, futures and options, and staking. All these three options would be available by December, full-fledgedly for all the customers. I mean, we have some things ready, and we have already started trials with our employees, because our employees first try it out for the first 1 or 2 months, and then later on only we launch it to the customer, so that all the bugs are fixed in that. So that's the kind of expansion which is happening. One is regional expansion, second is product expansion.
Thank you so much for sharing all this information and all the insights about CoinBX, about the crypto landscape in India and UAE, and finally talking about how cryptocurrencies can be a lifeline for developing countries. Thank you so much for sharing these insights, and thank you so much for coming, taking the time of your day and attending sharing this information. And finally, thank you to all my viewers who have tuned in today. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.